PBA purses.
About 450,000. John, you're a few years too late. Welcome.
Oh, thanks, Randy. Thanks, Jim. It's great being here. The tournament all week has gone terrific, and so far the guys that bowled the best have been pretty unlucky. It's, Walter bowled a tremendous game last game, and just couldn't knock the 10 out.
It's hard for people watching. They don't really understand how you can say I bowled a really good 180 game.
Well, they just got done watching that. And, you know, when Danny shot those 300s, Randy, yesterday, he was on 37 and 8, 35 and 6. Plays a little bit tougher, especially lane 36. It's a little more skip flippy, and I think Traber, because he's going so direct, could be really tough today.
That was the same thing I was thinking. The guys that are trying to hook it are having a little bit of trouble getting the ball to the pocket consistently. We take a look at Steve Jaros for the first time. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of ball reaction he has. A little bit straighter than normal for Steve.
Wow, what a terrific move by Steve. Steve likes to really go around, and he's trying to play him like Traber and Walter did and get the ball on top of the pocket. He's doing great.
Now, the key was that match against Tim Chris. He was up 2 games to none, but he's seen an 0-2 turnaround and said Tim's reaction was getting better and better, and actually Tim had a chance to make it to a 5th, didn't he?
His reaction was, Tim's reaction was getting better. Steve's was getting worse. Oh, look at the messenger come flying across. He didn't want that match to continue on to 4 and 5 games. His reaction's deteriorating.
You know, he's from, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, John.
He's from Chicago. In Chicago, they call that slamming the dime. That's the expression they use there.
Well, straight and hard is the only way this guy goes. You know, the adjustments that he needs to make when he drifts high, leaving the 4-pin like he did, is not moving his feet a whole lot, just picking up his ball speed. There's one thing that Traber can do and that's throw it hard.
Johnny Petraglia never paid for his Jersey Devils ticket, right? You just call your buddies up there.
Well, Jim, it's really great having you in New Jersey and watching the tournament. Hope for many years to come this continues.
You never thought when I worked at Channel 10 in Philadelphia I'd make it all the way up the pike here to your bowling center.
I knew you would, Jim. Wait to tell. My cousin Steve told me you would be here.
Steve with a strike in 1 and 2. A little bit of a pressure on this man. I mean, Johnny, you can relate. It's the first time that he's been bowling really as a free agent, as he described it. He talked a little bit last night about the pressure of trying to travel with and support your family.
Oh, right. Steve had twins, and he's pretty much on his own now, and $40,000 is a lot of money. And if you've been going along just sort of getting checks and breaking even week to week, when you get your shot like this, you really want to jump out on it, because one tournament can make an entire year. That's Keith Swerdloff. He's our area manager here. He runs 10 centers and does a great job. He really worked hard this whole year for this tournament. You know,
I think the biggest thing of Steve Jaros becoming a free agent is now he's got access to all the equipment out there. And there was a time where, a period of time where he had to pick and choose and weed through all of the equipment to come up with a few bowling balls that fit his game.
Exactly. When Steve had to figure out what kind of weight block am I looking for, high differential, low differential, what's going to work the best for me, what's going to carry, it takes a long time to sort it out, and now he's got it. He's a tremendous talent. It's just a question of putting it all together.
We talked about Dave's parents watching in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. They actually started him bowling when he was about 7 years old.
He was using a 16-pounder, I think, when he was 7. Pretty big guy. I think the thing that's interesting when you watch Dave Traber's style is that he doesn't have a whole lot of knee bend. You see the 6-pin wrapping right around the 10. Doesn't have a whole lot of knee bend, and he lofts the ball. And I think the two kind of go hand in hand. But also that loft lays his hook and really makes for a straighter shot.
Uh-oh.
Well, that was the last thing that you would expect Dave to do, is miss a single-pin spare.
That's really got to shake him. He usually never misses 1-pin spares, hardly ever. I mean, his whole game, because he goes so direct, is based on staying clean through the whole game, and that's very unusual for him.
And the lanes being as difficult as they are to get to the pocket, you know, the one thing you want to avoid is open frames. He needs to erase that from his memory. Don't strike.
You know, when he's back home in Woodstock, Illinois, and practices, he has the luxury of oiling the lanes himself. Is that a help?
That's a tremendous help if you can figure out exactly what the Pro Tour is going to be like. If you can get information on the way that they're going to be doing the lanes, do them the same way, and then practice it, you can really be ready for the tour. The biggest thing now is not only bowling well, but practicing on what kind of condition you're going to have to bowl on.
I agree, Johnny. The one thing that, you know, he did do with the lane conditions, he made them real tough. He made the pattern really flat, so where there wasn't a buildup of oil in the middle to give you free hold, and there wasn't any dry boards to the right, which would give you swing. Just made the lanes flat, made him have to repeat shots and hit his target. Last shot on the right lane, he got it a little bit wide, left a 2-pin, and normally what happens 9 times out of 10, the guy compensates for that. This ball drifts high, leaves the 4-9. A chance.
Well, the scoring pace is going on very similar to the way it did all week. I thought this was really a perfect week, Randy and Jim. It was every kind of game got there. It didn't matter if you went straight, if you went around, if you were left-handed, if you were right-handed. Took about a 206 average to make that first cut, a little bit higher to make the second cut to the top 32, as it should. And then, depending on the pair you caught in match play, there were low matches, high matches. It was all there. It was really how well the people bowled that night.
130 of the PBA's best came here. Our host, Johnny Petraglia, great to have you here. We are live in North Brunswick. Johnny Petraglia Open, 40,000 on the line, and bowling